In the One Piece anime, Nika has finally awakened. The most intriguing part was the scene where the moon shone like the sun. The sunlight was clearly emphasized. And then, while Luffy was fighting in the form of Nika, despite it being night, the surroundings were illuminated as if it were daytime. That is, illuminated by light, as if it were daytime even at night. That's Enies Lobby. This is a Nevernight Island, a place that maintains daytime brightness around the clock. Why is this place consistently bright? I believe it's due to the influence of a previous possessor of Nika's ability who fought on this land, whose energy continued to illuminate the surroundings like the sun. Let's take a closer look at this scene. Interestingly, not Nika, but the name Joy Boy was emphasized. Furthermore, the scene with Hiyori and Orochi was inserted between Nika's awakening and the resumption of the battle between Luffy and Kaido, following the same flow as the original manga. At first glance, it might seem unrelated, but I'm sure Oda-sensei intentionally inserted this scene. Dawn will surely come. The Kozuki is a clan that fulfills promises. These words are not simply about liberation from Kaido in the land of Wano, but clearly allude to the dawn of the world. The term dawn likely carries significant meaning, as it's also used as the name of Nika's technique. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Dawn Dusk. I envision this channel as a platform for diverse global perspectives on the analysis of One Piece. Let's strive for this together. The Hito fruit model, Nika, being referred to as a legendary devil fruit, possesses paramecia-like characteristics despite being a Zoan-type devil fruit. This becomes prominent once it's awakened. The primary feature of a paramecia awakening is the ability to influence the surroundings. Good examples are the Ito fruit and the Mochi fruit. When the Hito fruit model Nika is awakened, it can turn things around, even enemies, into rubber. Moreover, this devil fruit allows the owner to transform into his true form. According to Kaido, such transformation is a trademark of the Zoan type. In other words, it wouldn't be strange for the Hito fruit model Nika, already possessing paramecia and Zoan properties, to be capable of using Logia powers. This could answer the long-standing mystery of why Nika is referred to as the Sun God. Watching the scene where Luffy awakens Nika in the anime, the surroundings became bright as if illuminated by the sun. Therefore, it's possible that the Hito fruit model Nika also has the Logia ability to illuminate its surroundings like the sun. While Logia awakening hasn't been discussed in detail yet, it's speculated to have the ability to change the environment. For instance, Raijin Island, where it's always raining thunder, could be the result of the influence of a past Goro fruit awakening user. Furthermore, Punk Hazard, the place where Sakazuki and Kuzan dueled for the seat of Fleet Admiral, still bears the effects of magma and ice, despite their duel taking place 2 years ago. This could be due to the influence of Kuzan and Sakazuki's awakened abilities changing the island's environment. From this, it's highly probable that Enies Lobby's perpetual daylight is a result of a past Hito fruit model Nika awakening user influencing the land with the sun's effects. However, is it really possible to create an artificial sun? Based on a past statement by Oda-sensei, I think it's feasible. Last year, Film Red was released in Japan. During its screening in Japan, viewers had the opportunity to listen to an audio conversation between Oda-sensei and director Taniguchi. In it, Oda-sensei said, "The root of the mysterious phenomena in the One Piece world is the devil's fruit." This leads me to think that the mysterious phenomena of Enies Lobby can also be explained by the devil's fruit. This could mean that the energy Vegapunk mentioned, which existed in the past, might be related to the sun created by Nika. Egghead is currently surrounded by naval and world government warships. The catalyst for this event is the execution order that the world government issued to Vegapunk. This was due to York's whistleblowing to the world government about Vegapunk's ongoing research into the Void Century. According to Shaka, Vegapunk's research on the Void Century has even surpassed that of O'Hara. It implies that his research could potentially unravel the secrets of the Great Kingdom. However, there are still things that Vegapunk has yet to reproduce. One of these things is power source. In chapter 1067, Shaka mentioned, there was a power that could change the common sense of the world in the past. Fundamentally, the power source is natural forces, yet Vegapunk has been unable to recreate this. There exists something that can address these issues simultaneously, the artificial sun created by Nika. In chapter 1089, it was revealed that Vegapunk used a device called a power plant to create the mother flame. In Japanese, it's described as yuguro. There's no term like yuguro in Japanese. Likely this word is inspired by kaku yuguro, nuclear fusion reactor. A nuclear fusion reactor is a type of atomic reactor that utilizes nuclear fusion reactions. This suggests that in the world of One Piece, technology capable of extracting energy through nuclear fusion reactions already exists. Notably, the radiant glow of stars, including our sun, is attributed entirely to the heat energy produced by nuclear fusion reactions. As a result, in Japan at least, this fusion reactor is often metaphorically referred to as the artificial sun, or sun on Earth. To initiate nuclear fusion on Earth, one must create an environment of extreme heat or immense pressure. What's worth noting here is the eternal sun that Vegapunk mentioned. Lilith once said, "The power of this island is fire." Fire can be converted into all energy. I've continued to research what to burn. If there were an unquenchable flame in this world, we could create a sun. I suspect this idea of the eternal flame comes from O'Hara's research into the Great Kingdom. In other words, Vegapunk's continuous research on what to burn was aimed at creating a high-temperature environment, and the very essence of that was the nuclear fusion reactor, also known as the power plant. The mother flame seems to be a repository of the energy produced using this fusion reactor. It could also be a weapon that stores this high energy. However, to keep this power plant operational, something needs to be continuously burned. The energy that even Vegapunk couldn't replicate, which has been produced eternally, is likely the alternative name for the nuclear fusion reactor, the artificial sun. I think that this artificial sun was created by Nika's Logia power. And this may have contributed to the advanced technological development of the Grand Kingdom. For context, in our world, the sun undergoes nuclear fusion reactions under conditions of 16 million degrees Celsius and 240 billion atmospheres of pressure. This is also true for the devil's fruit. Vegapunk talked about cloning the devil fruit. Only the Zoan type of artificial devil's fruit can be produced. For the Paramecia type, if we can obtain the lineage factors of the power holder, we can generate special blood from there and confer the abilities through administration. This is what green blood is. However, even Vegapunk finds it difficult to reproduce the Logia type. In other words, there's only one way to artificially create nature in the world of One Piece, and that is through the power of the devil's fruit. By the way, Shinobu possesses the powers of the Juku Juku no Mi fruit. Do you remember her self-deprecating joke? A mature woman is a weapon in her own right. After using Nika's power, Luffy ages. This might hint that Nika, who created the artificial sun weapon, is being alluded to. Next, let's examine the relationship between Nika and the Great Kingdom. Who's who described Nika, is sent to prison due to his responsibility for Nika's fruit being stolen by Shanks. Personally, I now think that Lucci's sin is even greater than who's. Who's Who said he heard this legend of Nika in prison, which is likely referring to Impel Down. As we've mentioned on this channel multiple times, Impel Down has symbols of the sun and ancient texts similar to those engraved on poneglyphs, which leads us to predict that Impel Down was a facility related to the Great Kingdom. It makes sense that the rumor of Nika spread there. Remember where Impel Down is located? It exists in the Calm Belt, extremely close to the Red Line. Impel Down is connected to the Marine headquarters and Eni's lobby by the whirlpools known as the Terai currents. If Impel Down was a place related to the Great Kingdom, the same could be said for Eni's lobby, which is located nearby. Considering this, it's highly likely that Joy Boy, who likely had a close relationship with the Great Kingdom, transformed this Eni's lobby into a Nevernight island. As a result of awakening Nika's abilities, the influence of the sun remained, and Eni's lobby was constantly lit as if during the day. Additionally, in Chapter 1089, a massive hole appeared at the ruins of the Lulusha Kingdom, destroyed by the Mother Flame. This suggests that there was also an island where Eni's lobby is now, but it was completely obliterated by an ancient weapon. Perhaps this is exactly where the battle between the 20 kingdoms and the Great Kingdom took place. In the One Piece manga, the expression atokatamo naku kesu, wiped out without a trace, is often used. First, let's look at Crocodile's explanation of the ancient weapon. Pluton. It's said that one shot can wipe out an entire island without a trace. When Enel destroyed Angel Island, one of the island's inhabitants said, "Our birthplace is gone without a trace." Does this remind you of anything? In Chapter 1089, it was reported about the huge hole at the ruins of the Lulusha Kingdom. The land of the country has vanished without a trace, forming a sea waterfall in the massive hole. Also, when Sengoku mentioned God Valley Island, he said, "And indeed, God Valley is now gone without a trace." These examples suggest that wiped out without a trace is a common expression used when mentioning islands or countries that have been destroyed by an ancient weapon or a force equivalent to it. There is one more place where the expression gone without a trace is used. The Great Kingdom. Just before his death, Professor Clover said, "By deciphering ancient documents and several poneglyphs we discovered, we have come to realize the existence of a country. It's now gone without a trace." Perhaps the Great Kingdom was also completely wiped out by an ancient weapon. The location of this vanished kingdom could very well be where Eni's lobby is now. The model for the Great Kingdom that is often discussed is Atlantis, and indeed, there are similarities in their architectural styles. If you look at Atlantis from above, you'll see that its geography somewhat resembles that of Eni's lobby. Assuming that the large hole in Eni's lobby was created by an ancient weapon, there is something odd. The center of the island remains intact. Here's a possible explanation. A great kingdom was here, and someone protected just the part where this kingdom existed to save all its inhabitants. As a result, the surroundings were all destroyed, but only the land where the kingdom existed and the path for evacuation remained. This is easier to understand if you recall Admiral Isho's attack. Someone was able to maintain the original form only where the citizens were, protecting them from the aerial attack. Personally, it's exciting to think that the one who shielded them was a wielder of the Bari Bari no Mi and a comrade of Joy Boy from Wano country. This would also explain why the Bari Bari no Mi has been inherited in the isolationist Wano country. Of course, it's highly possible that this devil fruit was brought back to Wano country from the outside by Higurashi. This leads me to think that the person who was able to create an artificial sun during the Void Century must be Joy Boy, who awakened Nika's abilities. Just as Kuzan's and Sakazuki's abilities still affect Punk Hazard, I believe the sun created by Joy Boy is still present on the land of Eni's lobby, continually illuminating the entire island. So far, I've discussed the theory that Impel Down and Enya's lobby are lands related to the Great Kingdom. There's another location we haven't yet examined. Let's take another look at the Calm Belt. This sea region is situated close to the Red Line, atop which lies Mariwa. We know that 19 kingdoms moved to Mariwa 800 years ago at the end of the Void Century, but before them, another race inhabited this place, the Lunaria tribe. According to Whitebeard, a divine kingdom originally existed atop the Red Line, inhabited by a race that could ignite fires. But now, Mariwa is established atop the Red Line and is governed by the world government. Thus, it seems that his tribe was displaced by the current world government during the Void Century, pushing them to the brink of extinction. The fact that merely providing sighting information on the Lunaria tribe to the world government is worth 100 million berries implies that they are undoubtedly a nuisance to the world government. Furthermore, we know from a conversation between Kaido and King that Albur, a descendant of that tribe, is aware of Joy Boy's existence. Am I Joy Boy? Is the world I aim to create the world you desire? Albur responded, Legends are legends. I'm not asking for anything now. This conversation indicates that the legend of Joy Boy was passed down among the Lunaria tribe. Kaido's desired world was a world of violence. It seems that Kaido knew that what Albur truly wanted wasn't this world of violence, but rather the world that Joy Boy would create. The scene where Kaido told King that the one who defeated him was Joy Boy was also depicted impressively. Considering that a descendant of the Lunaria tribe, who used to live in the divine kingdom that existed atop the Red Line before Mariwa was built, believes in the legend of Joy Boy, it's likely that the Lunaria tribe was also connected to the Great Kingdom, and their home base probably existed in this sea area, including the current location of Mariwa atop the Red Line. I recently received this question from one of my new Patreon supporters. Albul dresses like a guard from Impel Down, and he seems to enjoy torturing. Is there a connection between the Lunarians and Impel Down? I personally think there is. While the original purpose of Impel Down isn't clear, it offers various environments depending on the floor. A hell covered in thorns, a desert-like starvation hell, a scorching hot hell, and an extremely cold hell. Queen described the Lunarians as a race capable of surviving in any environment. The diverse environments present in Impel Down might be somehow related to the Lunarians' nature. Conversely, the attire of Impel Down's guards could be a remnant of the Lunarians. Just as the clan of D is considered a natural enemy of the gods, the Lunarians might have been feared as demons by the celestial dragons. I'm convinced that this region has connections with both the Lunarians and the Ancient Kingdom. The constant presence of a vortex at the center is also intriguing. In this video, I speculated that Loki might be the man with the burn scar. Please watch this video for details. The depiction of the giant tribe worshipping the sun god also suggests some connection between the Great Kingdom and Elbaf. According to Lafitte, He-Man with the burn scar seems to generate a vortex. The vortex that exists at the center of Eni's lobby, Marine headquarters, and Impel Down may have been created by someone with the same power as He-Man with the burn scar. The reason why He-Man with the burn scar holds the last road poneglyph may be because he knows the truth about the Great Kingdom and is sizing up the person to whom he will entrust this knowledge. By the way, when you hear spiral, does anything come to mind? The devil fruit. The most distinctive visual feature of the devil fruit is its spiral pattern. The reason why it's called a devil fruit is still unclear, but if the world government named it, there's a high possibility that it was created by people associated with the Great Kingdom. Particularly, according to Corazon, the clan of D is perceived as a natural enemy of the gods in Mariwa, suggesting they may also be deeply involved. I'll discuss this further in another video. In any case, this location might have originally been the land where the Great Kingdom existed. For the alliance of the 20 kingdoms, it's likely perceived as the most fearsome devilish land. To seemingly erase this fact, The world government has now established important institutions on this land. However, there's another matter of curiosity: the name of the Great Kingdom. I have a few personal candidate names, but I'll introduce one that is related to this analysis. In fact, I believe the scene where Clover almost mentioned the kingdom's name offers the greatest clue. In this scene, Clover starts to say, "The name of the once thriving kingdom was..." But at that moment, an order of extermination came from the 5 elders, and Clover was shot before he could finish. What does the sound effect in this panel read? Dawn. Therefore, even though Clover was shot before he could say the name, the answer might be written in this panel. The name of the Great Kingdom could be the Dawn Kingdom. If there truly exists an artificial sun created by Nika in today's Eni's lobby, it would make sense to name that place Dawn. Intriguingly, in the East Blue, there's an island named after Dawn. It might not have been a coincidence that Luffy, who was born on Dawn Island, ate the Hito Hito fruit model, Nika.